What's going on? It's Camille Aiko, inspiring you to live the life you love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Hopefully, you all are having a fabulous Friday. So this necklace is my necklace urn. Um, Sometimes I think that's weird. Sometimes I think my mother is close to me, but either way, it is what it is. So you all are looking for if your loved one is cremated and you're looking for a way to keep them close to you. If you don't think it's too weird, I didn't actually check, but my sister said she was in there, but I want my mother with me and not on me, so I never opened it. But that is not what this live is about. So let me ask you all a question. Have you ever been in a relationship that seemed fine until it wasn't? Like everything feels okay, but then something unexpected happens and you realize the foundation that you thought was strong isn't as strong as you thought it was. Anybody ever been there before? Anybody ever experienced that? Now, I want you to think about your relationship with money. If there was a money financial curveball thrown at you tomorrow, do you think your finances would be able to hold up? Do you think you would be able to maintain, or would there be cracks shown in your finances? So I just want to talk a few minutes today with you guys about how to break free from your toxic patterns and rebuild smarter, better, wiser, because it's so important. And I know for years I've got on here and I've talked to you guys about how to make money online, right? I've shown you how to build side hustles, monetize your skills, create streams of income. But 2 years ago, hopefully you guys can hear me and this is clear because I keep seeing slow connection. So you guys let me know in the comments if we're good. But 2 years ago, as you guys have heard me talk about, my husband had a double stroke, right? And overnight, I became his full-time caregiver. And my mother's health was declining. My father needed help with my mother. My father was going through his own stuff. And life was like really lifing, as we like to say, right? And so I just began to ask the question, like, who is going to take care of me, right? Because I don't know what the future holds. Now my mother is not here. My husband, like I've said, he's just not as strong as he once was. And my father, well, he's getting older. I don't have any children. So it's like, what's the plan? What's up? What do I need to be doing to make sure that my future is secure? What if I can't depend on anybody else? And at this point, it really doesn't even matter. Like, we need to make sure that we are set for ourselves regardless. So I realized during this time, what's going on, Brian? That my money plan could not fail anymore because my future was banking on it. And so again, it doesn't matter if you're married. It doesn't matter if you have kids. It doesn't matter if you have grandkids. There is no guarantee that the support that you need is going to come through when life throws you unexpected things your way, right? And so I had to start over with my money relationship. And so I found a money coach, Shirley Liu, and she's an award-winning financial advisor and wealth guru. I mean, she's been featured in the Forbes 50 over 50, recognized for her mission to empower women to know their money. And ever since really working with her, I'm like, there's no way that I can know what I know and not share it with other people, because there are people who are out here struggling. Now, whether y'all want to admit it or not, I know that's the case. I know I'm not the only one who's experienced this. I know that people are going through things all the time, every day, and their finances are taking a turn. And you're like, I don't know how the heck I'm going to bounce back from this. I don't know if there's any way that I'm ever going to be able to retire. I don't know what is happening with my life right now. And so I feel like it's my responsibility to not just show you all how to make money, because at this point I realize that's the basic level of our relationship with money, right? It's like at the very bottom of all the things. I want to show you how to level up with your money, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you have a family. It's time to build strong financial foundations. And the time to do that is now. And the time to do it is now, because you don't want to be caught in a situation where your foundation financially is screwed up. Okay? So I'm telling you that from personal experience. So if this resonates with you, hey, Becky, how are you, my love? If this resonates with you, then guys, let's stay on with me for just a few minutes. I promise I won't be super long. But let's just talk about building a money plan that's not going to fail you. So let's just talk about some of the curveballs, right? So for me, even if we look at health crisis, and that can happen to anybody at any time, it doesn't matter how old you are, right? It doesn't matter what your condition is. You can think you are healthy as an ox, and then all of a sudden something happens. So I want you to think of this like your partner suddenly getting sick, and you're taking on all the responsibilities. It's overwhelming and draining, both emotionally and financially. The loss of income. It might feel like your partner is walking out on you when you need them most, and suddenly you're left carrying everything on your own. Like, are you in a position that if something were to happen, you can still maintain? Are your finances working for you? Stephen, if I wasn't at work, I'd listen to more. I'll buy the book. Awesome, Stephen. Market crashes. So this is like, imagine discovering that your partner has been hiding something from you, something big, right? And now your plans for the future is in jeopardy, right? Guys, I really want you all to think about these things, because it's these moments that reveal the cracks in our financial relationship, and they force you to start asking, like, is this really as strong as I thought it was? So your relationship with money, I want you to stop right now, and I want you to ask yourself, is my relationship with my money as strong as I think it is? If you have a health situation, a health crisis, if your spouse has a health crisis, if your parents have a health crisis, somebody you love has a health crisis, and you become the caregiver, and maybe you have to quit your job, or maybe you can't even quit your job. Maybe you're still working full time while still trying to be the caregiver. Guys, that's not fun. That's stressful. It wears people down. And that's why oftentimes caregivers end up going before the person who's actually sick, because they actually literally wear themselves down. Hi, James. Greetings. So guys, I just want you to think about that. So when your financial foundation is tested, it's like being in a toxic relationship. Okay. So you feel blindsided. Like, I didn't see this coming. What do I do now? What do I do now that this has happened? You feel helpless. You don't know how to fix it. Let me see. I think I'm having, what do you think of kingdom economics? John 2 was doing that. Of course. And everything that I do is still biblically based. It's still based on the foundational principles of the word. And that's what his is as well. And so, of course, you've got to lean on one of the kingdom economic principles is faith, right? And so you have to be able to have faith even going through these. But the Bible also tells us to be prepared and to have a plan and to have a vision. And that goes along for our finances as well. So there's absolutely nothing that is contradictory, but that's a good question. So sometimes you might feel afraid, though, with your financial finances and your financial relationship, and say, what if I can't recover? Like, all of these things start going through our head when things begin to happen. These red flags, these things are happening. There's so many questions that are starting to go through. And when you start having these questions, that is a very good indicator that your finances aren't set up the way that they need to be set up in order to be at peace, right? To make sure that what you're building you're building it purposefully, and you're building it so that you can have financial peace and financial security. So listen, I know what I'm talking about because I've been there. Like, I don't want you all to think that I'm coming at this like I'm just this guru now on it. I have been studying with, like I was telling you all, my money mentor, Shirley Liu, But I want you to know that I'm walking through this with you to rebuild, make sure that we're stronger than ever. So don't want you to think I'm an expert at it, or let me rewind. I don't want you to think that I think that I've reached the pinnacle of this all. This is, I now know and have started to rebuild, and I want you to come on this journey with me. I want you to go through, check your finances, your relationship with your money, and say, am I in a healthy position or no? If something were to happen, would I be able to maintain my lifestyle? Will my lifestyle go down? Would it be able to increase? What would happen to my family? Are we sustained? Because if you have those questions that can't be answered in a positive, healthy way, then baby, we need to talk. You need to grab the book, right? So rebuilding your financial foundation is a lot like rebuilding trust in a relationship. It takes reflection. It takes commitment. It takes action. And so I'm going to give you just a few tips. Let me see. What's going on, Venetia? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Janelle. Just a few tips. So how do we get smarter in our money plan? One of those things is we learn from the breakdown. And one of the questions that you can ask yourself if you're in a situation where you're like, you know what, I know my money is funny. I know I'm not in the position that I need to be in. You can ask yourself, what caused this financial setback? And how can I prepare better next time? See, because nothing is going to change, guys, if we don't sit down and reflect on what went wrong so that we can fix it, right? You have to understand what was even going on in your finances before the wrong thing happened so that we don't make the same mistake again. So for example, if caregiving drains your income, right? Like for me, I was drained. Think about creating streams of income that are even more robust, that are more on autopilot, right? These are the things that we really need to just even check. Am I doing what I'm doing? Is it good enough to make sure that there won't be cracks in my financial foundation? All right, wiser, shifting our mindset, because we know that if we don't shift our mindset, we can definitely get to a place where we're stuck. We're stuck in the same cycles. We're thinking the same thing over and over again. So just like in a relationship, stop focusing on what went wrong and start focusing on what you can control, right? You got to focus on what you can control. Treat every financial challenge as a lesson and not a failure. Okay? Treat every financial challenge as a lesson and not a failure. How do we get better? We take action to rebuild. And I'm sorry, I just went fuzzy wuzzy. All right, there we go. Create a financial plan that works for both good and bad times. Start small, save for emergencies, explore new ways to create income, invest in tools that protect your future. Because if you don't have this, if you don't know what it is, if you're not intentionally building it, then you're intentionally planning to fail, right? So the goal isn't just to uncover, it's to create a relationship with your finances that's healthier and stronger than ever. And that's what we've got to do. So if you are feeling like, okay, I can relate to some of this, I feel what she's talking about, I don't feel like my finances are that strong, this is why you need to get my book. All right. So this is the exact reason why I wrote this book, because I know there's other people like me who need to grow, who need to rebuild, who need to think better, who need to think smarter, who need to think wiser. So this book is like the relationship counselor for your money. So inside, we're going to talk about what are the red flags? How do we spot the toxic patterns in our financial relationship? We're going to talk step-by-step strategies to rebuild, how to protect your money, how to grow your money wisely, to how to be able to access your money when you need it, right? Because some people, you have money, but it's not liquid. You can't access it. So we're going to talk about what are those financial tools that we need to be tapping into to make sure that we can access, grow, and transfer our money. And then a roadmap to resilience. learning how to prepare for life curveballs so we're never blindsided again. Because I will tell you, I don't want to be in that situation again. I want to be able to feel like if something were to happen again to me or my husband, we're able to just make a couple phone calls, make a couple clicks on the computer, and have everything that we need flowing, going, and not worried about finances. I feel like, when you're caring for your loved one, finances should be one of the last things that you're thinking about. So if you think that you might ever have a possibility, a chance of being a caregiver, you definitely need to make sure your finances are in order. So this book, guys, it's not just your next financial book. It's really about transforming your relationship with money into something that you can trust and rely on. All right. So let me ask you again, what would you do if life threw you a curveball tomorrow? Would you be able to manage? Would you be able to hold up, or would you crumble under the pressure? So if you're ready to break up, let me make sure there's no comments here. I don't know if y'all are talking to me or not. But if you're ready to break up with these toxic patterns that are holding you back, I need you to go to LLYLsolutions.com and go ahead and grab your book. I'm doing a pre-sale. The book is just $19. Go grab it. Let's make it happen. Yeah. So I just want you to know that life is full of curveballs. Life is full of different crises. Life is full of, not being able to have the amount of income. But when you create a plan that is solid, then you can be able to say, you know what, even though these things are happening, even though these curveballs are happening in life, I'm still able to sustain. So thank you guys for spending your time with me, a few minutes with me on today. So make sure you go to LLYLsolutions.com, click on pre-order, and grab your pre-order book. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.